Coming up in today's video, WWE reacts to AEW All Out, what Vince McMahon and the company have planned to counteract the rise of AEW, and of course, their successful AEW All Out pay-per-view. We're also going to talk about AEW planning a hair versus hair match, very, very big gimmick match because it actually impacts people's real life. I can't imagine just shaving off all of my hair. The buzz cut alone is something I'm still dealing with. But nonetheless, AEW is planning a hair versus hair match. And on top of that, we know that WWE plans to bring back King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring, some more details and some bold predictions. With that being said, if you guys want more videos like this, go ahead and click that subscribe button, ring the bell, and get notified on all the latest content. We're close to 30,000 subscribers, so if you guys could click that subscribe button, I would greatly appreciate it. But I want to kick things off. Let's talk about King of the Ring. King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring is expected to come back in October of 2021. And of course, this is a way for WWE to keep their programming fresh. It's being said that this will be on Raw and SmackDown. And I'm actually excited about WWE bringing back King of the Ring, but I'm actually very interested to see how they pull off Queen of the Ring, because if you guys haven't been watching WWE's programming, we know that they have a stacked women's roster. The biggest problem is just the amount of people that they actually use from the women's roster. I want to make a bold prediction. I think right now, when you look at WWE's programming and their storylines for the men's King of the Ring, I think there is a lot of opportunities for somebody to rise to the occasion. And while this prediction is definitely coming out of left field, I think this would be a good move by WWE if they really want to get behind this superstar. And I'm going to make the bold prediction that Ricochet ends up becoming King of the Ring. I think there is a lot of cool things that they can do with Ricochet as a character. And if you give him the King Ricochet gimmick, there might be some really cool things you can do with that. This is looking at the grand spectrum of the roster. There's a lot of people on there. I look at Money in the Bank and King of the Ring as two opportunities to get somebody over. And with Big E carrying the Money in the Bank briefcase, we'll talk a little bit more about that too later on. I think WWE is going to create a massive single star with Big E. But if you're going to take King of the Ring serious and you're going to bring in Queen of the Ring, I think it is absolutely important that you take this serious and absolutely use this as a way to get people excited, especially on weekly television. As far as women's Queen of the Ring goes, I'm going to make a bold prediction and say Naomi should be Queen of the Ring. I think Naomi's kind of been missing from action. There's a lot of stuff being done with the Bloodline storyline, and now Paul Heyman has also made some public comments about Naomi joining the Bloodline, obviously ties to the Usos. So with that being said, if I am the WWE and I am going to book a Queen of the Ring tournament, I think this would be the best time to give it to Naomi. I think this would make a lot of sense for Naomi to do it, but I also want to see a heel turn here, and I would love to see Naomi join the Bloodline as a heel, and I think using the Queen of the Ring platform to do so would be pretty massive. So I guess we could all look back at this video later on when WWE actually does finalize the tournament, and we'll see if my predictions are right. But these are two bold predictions. I would love to hear what you guys think, because truthfully, I know it's pretty bold. So with that being said, let me know what you guys think. AEW planning a hair versus hair match. Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker, they are two of the top females in the AEW women's division. And while this is not finalized, it's been reported that AEW plans to revisit this match next year. And when they do, they're looking at having a major stipulation. Now, some of the stipulations that have been brought up were a cage match and a hair versus hair match. So while this hasn't been a finalized decision, I think if you are AEW and you are looking at gravitating to the younger audience, the best way to do that, and of course, you got to remember, it's all about the key demographics. If you're AEW, the best way to do that is to do something different, something that is not common. And while steel cage matches are great, and I love the way AEW actually books steel cage matches, we have already seen a gimmick match with a steel cage very recently, and I don't want it to become redundant. Also, I want to be very fair. Between Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker, we also saw them in a non-sanctioned match, which was an incredible match, and there was a little too much blood and a little too much action, but it was really, really good, and some people felt turned off by it. So the thing is, AEW is constantly learning about their product and learning their audience. I think a hair versus hair match is absolutely smart. I buzzed my head. I don't know if I would actually go bald. The thing is, I don't have remotely even close to the length of hair as Britt Baker or Thunder Rosa. So whoever were to actually lose this match, I mean, this match gimmick would actually have implications on their real life. But nonetheless, it's very interesting that this is even being brought up. The real question is who would actually lose this match. I sure as hell don't think Britt Baker is going to lose. But if I'm also being honest, there's no way in hell I see Thunder Rosa losing this match either. But the idea of a hair versus hair match, especially when it's two female competitors with extremely long hair, I find it to be very interesting that it's even part of the conversation. If AEW does in fact move forward with this match type, I really, really don't know. And quite honestly, guys, I think this is exciting. I think that's the best part about AEW is if they continue to bring different elements to the show, things that are different. If there's not a lot of gimmick matches that are redundant, it ends up being really special. You know, with WWE, they have pay-per-views like Money in the Bank, and they have Hell in a Cell. And, you know, when you go to the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, there's 2 Money in the Bank matches. When you go to Hell in a Cell, there's usually 2 to 3 Hell in a Cell matches. It kind of becomes repetitive and it starts to lose that special factor. Elimination Chamber, really cool pay-per-view, really cool gimmick match, but I don't think it needs to be the centerfold of WWE. So it's just something to consider. AEW playing in a hair versus hair match is really interesting. One of the things I actually look forward to if they do pull it off. Now, with that being said, for the final story of the day, guys, AEW and WWE neck and neck. We all know that AEW's ratings are continuing to impress, but what's even more impressive is how they are capturing the key demographics. Now, with that being said, it has been reported that Vince McMahon and WWE have made the decision to change the tag team match that was scheduled for the upcoming episode of Monday Night Raw, and instead what is going to happen is a World Championship match. The WWE Championship will be on the line tomorrow on Monday Night Raw, and it's going to be Bobby Lashley versus Randy Orton. Now, the thing is, with this match being, you know, the main event of WWE Raw, the real question is whether or not this is WWE doing a bait and switch to get people to watch the product, or if this is WWE turning a new leaf. Now, obviously, WWE has lost their trust before, but the reason why I want to talk about this specifically is because I have always said that Big E should not get involved with Roman Reigns, and I think it would be a terrible idea for Big E to lose his title or lose his Money in the Bank briefcase against Roman Reigns and then not be able to capture the championship belt. Now, the thing is, when I watch WWE Raw, the product is getting stale. We know that WWE is getting ready for something very, very interesting, and that is the ability to basically turn around the product, right? Like that's what they're getting, that's what they're preparing for. They're trying to turn around the product, and they're going to do that by doing the draft and a couple of other things. But again, WWE has lost their trust before. I truly believe that if WWE is trying to make the right business decision, Bobby Lashley should retain the belt against Randy Orton. And I think what should happen is Big E cashes in Money in the Bank and totally succeeds in doing so. I don't think Bobby Lashley and Goldberg need to have a one-on-one match for the title. I know that's being planned for Crown Jewel. But if we're really being serious here, WWE Raw needs to be, you know, way better. And at this point, too, it's going to be a feel-good moment when Big E does successfully cash in the belt, or cash in the briefcase, wins the belt, and then gets to reunite with the New Day. Ultimately, with the draft coming up, I think we're going to see some huge roster changes. I wouldn't mind seeing Bobby Lashley move to SmackDown and go head-to-head with Roman Reigns as well, even though that whole thing is kind of, you know, it's a little saturated right now. That the Universal Championship is saturated. But I'm bringing this up because this would be a really good way to turn things around. Now, again, we are talking about the WWE, and we all have no faith in them. So hopefully we can look back at this video and say, hey, Ango, you were right. But anyways, guys, that is today's video. 3 news stories. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget Discord server in the description. And if you guys could subscribe, we're getting closer to 30,000 subscribers, so I'd greatly appreciate it. Thanks for watching.